The analysts that are out there do not have the conviction and belief in the perfect storm scenario playing out. Just candidly, I've had this conversation with Bitwise and with some of the other players that are out there. They're like, yeah, if that played out, then that makes a lot of sense. But their job as a fiduciary is not to be sensational or hype driven, which a lot of people say that I am. I don't feel that way. I think that my thesis is sound, and it does require specific events to play out in order for the prices that I've been talking about to actually happen. There are catalysts that would push it to there. It would not be a traditional market cycle. And for them, I think that that's still how they're viewing it. They are looking at the constraints that exist today and pricing things according to projections based on previous market action. And that could get you to a $28 XRP over the next 4 years. If you just had another traditional, call it another bull run here toward the end of the year into 2027, another bear market in late 28 through 29, and then another bull market in 2030. If you had, a traditional Bitcoin cycle and everything just stayed the same as it's been for the last 15 years, that's probably a reasonable target. It doesn't take into account any of my thesis and why I believe there has to be a significantly higher price in order for XRP to function and be used at scale the way that we know that it will be. And so that would be my guess on their analyst is, I bet, and I love Blockchain Backer, by the way, shout out to him. He does a really good job of keeping blinders on and just, watching his own stuff and coming up with his own thesis. And he's been bang on with most of his content that he's been putting out, especially over the last couple of years. But same deal. I would bet if you asked Blockchain Backer what he thought by 2030, and if he thought that that was a reasonable analysis, I bet that he would say, yes, that makes a lot of logical sense based on fractals and previous market action. My thesis is that XRP decouples, constraints change. There are other catalysts that come into play that are not forecasted in those projections that would move the price substantially higher so that it can be used at scale.